Daily chart, Apple Computer. Time 6:14 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Market will open up in 16 minutes. 11/6/2012, election day. Lots of things are going to be going on. This is a daily bottom reversal from a very deeply oversold, as we have said, in Apple Computer. Once any equity, whether it be Apple or any other equity, it doesn't matter. Once they hit that downside where you're deeply oversold, you start getting the invert of gap open ups on a daily basis versus the gap open down on a daily basis. Now, when we take a look at this Apple Computer today, we know that it has a history of selling right into resistance levels. Now, it can be a day. There is always an inside day that when these moving averages, like the 200-day simple moving average, it's at 500. Well, let's get the exact number so you can see it right here. It's 591.11 as of right now. The 10-day simple moving average on a standard technical analysis chart is 604. What happens is the people, institutional people and hedge fund managers that have been short the name, and it's been working, and high frequency trading algorithmic programs have been selling it down short as well, is that when you come up through the 200-day simple moving average, there is a thing called the short seller has to buy to cover, and this is how they can overshoot those. So I have a trend line right here at the bottom of this daily handle at 596. And why do I have that there? Well, it's for good reason. And I'll show you why. Because right here, when we look at where these bottom wicks were over here on the daily chart, if we break through there, we can actually trade right up here. So we're going to have that first wall of resistance at 591.55. And let me blow this up to be Pacific. The Pacific standard of it is the following: that this lower ridge, that when buy to cover has to buy to cover, you can actually come up here and go through that 200-day simple moving average. That's the green line. And as it goes above it, the fear factor for the people who are short start to panic, and they can buy the equity. They have to buy it back, which drives the price higher to the next resistance level. That's what's going to happen with the Apple Computer. And just like when you were falling through the 200-day simple moving average on a daily chart, you sold down. We're oversold in the name. Another thing we're going to be looking at is we're going to go over here to the 590 put option. They were $19.70. This side of the market closed at $12.25. The previous day at $7.45. The high was $17.60 a contract. The low was $11. We are going to give opening bids on this contract on the opening bell here and now and before everyone right around $4.70. That's our lower market price based on this gap coming in here. And then the equity, when they buy to cover at that resistance level, as it goes up above the resistance level, it will have a blow off intraday high. And it will. And what will end up happening at that point, that transaction can be made for a profit. Because they're going to take the premium all the way out of the option. And once again, we are always wholesale on the lower bottom of that entry. I'm going to conclude that management. We're going to open up. We must be ready. This is that side of the market you're going to be looking at. And for that reason. And I've given the bids out live before the opening bell. And there is the 500 penny gap almost. So when we take a look at what that is, that gap, that dollar gap right here, right now, to that 200-day simple moving average is another 200 pennies, $2 to go up to 591. So Based on the opening gap, we're going to see if people jump right in, and the bears that have been short Apple have to buy to cover. They run it up to the 200-day simple moving average. All the premium gets taken out of this side of the market to the wholesale price based on the major resistance levels, and that the opening print will be 4.7. Opening bell bid. They close at 12.25. The public that stayed in the puts too long are going to the woodshed and in the house of pain, and we will buy the lower end of that glory.